No dictator rises to power alone. Behind every tyrant stands a network of enablers, strategists, and executioners, men willing to do the unthinkable in pursuit of absolute control. Adolf Hitler, the architect of war, genocide, and destruction. His name is forever linked to the horrors of World War II and the Holocaust. But how did one man manage to bring an entire nation under his grip? The truth is, he didn't act alone. Behind Hitler stood a powerful inner circle, men who helped him spread his ideology, build his war machine, and orchestrate the atrocities that shook the world. Who were these men? What drove their actions? And how did their influence shape the course of history, even beyond the fall of the Third Reich? Join us as we unravel the truth behind Hitler and the apostles of evil, the men who built the Nazi Empire. Germany, 1919, a nation on its knees. Defeated in World War I, forced to sign the Treaty of Versailles, stripped of its military power, and drowning in economic collapse. The people were desperate, humiliated, and looking for a savior. In the midst of this turmoil, a former soldier named Adolf Hitler emerged. At first, he was just another face in a nationalist movement. But he possessed a gift, his ability to speak, to command attention, to incite emotion. His fiery speeches turned anger into action. The Beer Hall Putsch, 1923. Hitler's first attempt to seize power failed. Arrested and imprisoned, he used the time to write Mein Kampf, his manifesto outlining a radical vision for Germany's future. The Great Depression, 1929. As economies crumbled worldwide, Hitler seized the moment, positioning himself as the only leader who could restore Germany's glory. 1933, Hitler becomes chancellor. With support from industrialists, the military, and the people, Hitler legally ascended to power. Within months, he dismantled democracy and declared himself Führer, absolute ruler of Germany. But Hitler didn't build his empire alone. He needed allies, men who would carry out his vision without question. The apostles of evil were ready.
These men were not mere followers. They were the architects of Nazi Germany, each playing a distinct role in shaping its policies, controlling its people, and waging war. Joseph Goebbels, the master of propaganda, 1500 to 2200. If you control the information, you control the people. The Nazi propaganda machine. Goebbels turned Hitler into a messianic figure. Every newspaper, every radio station, every film served the Nazi cause. Kristallnacht, 1938. The infamous Night of Broken Glass, where Jewish businesses and synagogues were burned, was fueled by Goebbels' anti-Semitic rhetoric. Final days in the Führer bunker. As Soviet troops closed in on Berlin, Goebbels refused to surrender. Instead, he poisoned his 6 children, then took his own life alongside his wife.
Cold, calculating, and utterly loyal to Hitler. The SS and Gestapo, Himmler built the Nazi secret police, ensuring absolute control through terror and surveillance. The final solution: the mastermind behind the Holocaust, Himmler organized the mass murder of 6 million Jews and millions of others deemed undesirable. Betrayal and death. As the war ended, Himmler tried to negotiate with the Allies. Branded a traitor, he was captured and took his own life before facing justice.
A military genius and a man of excess. The Luftwaffe. Göring commanded Nazi Germany's air force, leading brutal bombing campaigns across Europe. Plundering Europe, he amassed stolen art, gold, and wealth, while millions suffered. Nuremberg trials. Sentenced to death, Göring committed suicide by cyanide the night before his execution. A fanatic follower, until he became an enigma. His solo flight to Britain, 1941. In a bizarre mission, Hess flew to Scotland, claiming to seek peace with Britain. Instead, he was captured and imprisoned for life. Was he insane? Even Hitler distanced himself from Hess after the incident. Suspicious death, 1987. Officially ruled a suicide, many believe Hess was murdered to keep Nazi secrets buried forever.
The invasion of Poland, 1939. The war officially begins as Nazi forces storm Poland, using blitzkrieg tactics. The Holocaust, the extermination of millions in concentration camps like Auschwitz, Treblinka, and Dachau. Operation Barbarossa, 1941. Hitler's fatal mistake, invading the Soviet Union, leading to a devastating war on the Eastern Front. D-Day, 1944. The beginning of the end as Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy. The fall of Berlin, 1945. The Third Reich collapses under Soviet assault.
Different possibilities, negative thoughts will cause different disabilities. So do better, work hard under pressure. If you got no time, work smarter than ever.
The Führer bunker. Hitler and his closest men hide beneath the ruins of Berlin. April 30th, 1945. Hitler's suicide. With Soviet forces just blocks away, Hitler and Eva Braun take their own lives. Goebbels' last act. He orders the execution of his own family before dying alongside his wife. The fate of the apostles of evil. Some are captured, some vanish into hiding, but the Reich is no more.
The Nuremberg Trials. Nazi leaders face justice for war crimes. The escape to South America. Many high-ranking Nazis, including Adolf Eichmann and Josef Mengele, flee to Argentina and Brazil. Neo-Nazism and the lingering shadow. The ideologies of hate persist even today.
History repeats itself when we fail to learn from it. What can we learn from Hitler's rise and fall? How do extremist ideologies still spread today? And most importantly, how do we prevent history from repeating itself? Comment below. Which of Hitler's men had the greatest impact on history? Like and subscribe to Mr. Docubeat for more deep dive history documentaries.